Hey everybody, welcome back to Small Talk Japan. On this show, we talk about all things Japan in English. My name is Mitch. I'm back in studio with
Natsuki.
Why do I say I'm back in studio? That's my thing that I say on the radio is why.
Yeah.
I always say like, because I do my intro and then we go to like commercial and then we come back, I go back in studio. So it's like a bad habit.
Bad habit?
It's a really bad habit.
I'm back here, but actually.
We don't need to actually say that. Anyway,
Okay.
but I am back though.
Oh, yeah, welcome back. How's your sick?
No, more so welcome back to you because you haven't been on the show in what? 3-4 episodes?
Oh, yeah, long time ago.
And how's my sick? That doesn't sound good.
How's your sick? I did it on purpose.
I did it on purpose. We'll talk about it in a second. Anyways, guys, we got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about how lots of things are happening.
Okay.
The YouTuber turned parliamentarian is fired, apparently. He's gone and maybe getting arrested. You just got an alert on your phone saying he might be getting arrested. We got people molesting figures at the Ghibli park because of course they are. We've got the Diamond Princess coming back to Yokohama in addition to Coca-Cola releasing a canned Jack Daniels cocktail. Roll that intro. You don't need to sing it, Natsuki.
You missed me, right? You missed me singing, right?
I missed you singing. Well, you haven't given me enough ridiculous things to put into a supercut video of you at the end of the year yet. So we need to hurry up and get some more interesting comments from you, okay?
Okay, I will.
Anyway, guys, if you haven't noticed, we're kind of a week late on this episode. Last week we didn't have an upload because I had the sniffles. Sniffles. It's a cute way of saying that I was sick.
Okay.
Yeah, like we usually film these episodes on Thursday or Fridays. And we upload them on Thursday or Friday Japan time. And last week we were supposed to film on Friday, and I went home on Thursday, and I was like, I feel like I have a fever. And then by Friday morning, I was just like, I straight up have a fever. And then we were like, okay, well, because usually what happens when I get sick is like I go from no fever to crazy high fever to no fever, and then better. And so I was just like, I'll be better by Saturday. So like we can film it on Saturday. And everybody was like, okay. And then like my fever just kept going. It never really got really high. It was just kind of like it wasn't a low grade fever. It was like 38 degrees. And it was just like kept going for like four days. I got so bored. I was just like, what do I do? I mean, I can't go anywhere.
What did you do? Watching movies?
Well, I tried, but there was nothing interesting that I could find. And then so I did a lot of work. And then I watched my Blu-ray restore. What are they called? The digitally remastered Star Trek Next Generation Blu-ray, complete all 7 seasons. I started watching that. It's really crazy. So it's a sci-fi show, right? It's a in space show. You'd be surprised when you watch the Blu-ray because it's so high quality. Because back it was broadcast in the first season was 1987 or 1988.
When we were 4.
Yeah, when we were like 4 years old. So like television resolution was really bad. So you couldn't really see a lot of details. But now the resolution's like really good. It's 4K, right? Because it's Blu-ray. So if you look at the carpet, like in the Starship Enterprise and like all the rooms that they're in and everything, the carpet's all gross and there's like garbage on it. And
you can see that.
Yeah, you can just see it.
Wow.
It's just like there on and like there's like scuff marks on the walls from people kicking the walls and stuff. And in like the computer displays that are all black and they have like lit like diagrams and stuff in them, there's just like drywall screws screwed into them. It looks so bad. I love it.
It sounds like a brand new show, Yeah,
it is for me. I'm just like, oh, this is what you guys did back in the 80s. That's cool. No, it gives me really mad respect for the show creators at the time because like we're talking, what is this, like 35 years ago, and they were making like believable spaceship television that back then, and I was just like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Cool, that sounds cool.
With all the garbage in the world on the floor, dude. The carpet, because everything's carpet.
Yeah.
In Star Trek for some reason, it's probably due to sound because all the sets are made out of like wood, so the sound is probably really bad. So they were like, let's put carpet on the ground to at least make it less echoey. But like, there's so much garbage on the carpet. It should just be called like the Starship Garbage Prize. I'm telling you, there's just so much crap everywhere. Anyway. I'm back. I'm better. Thanks for worrying about my sick.
I'm glad.
I think when you say like, how was your sick? It sounds like a cool slang that like a little kid would use that I don't understand.
Is it?
No.
What's the correct way to say like, how was your sick?
You could say, how are you doing?
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking.
What did you eat? Uber Eats?
The whole time? Yes,
Yeah.
I did. I ate so much Uber Eats. It was ridiculous.
McDonald's.
One day, I just like got sick of eating Uber Eats. So I just like, with my low grade fever, I just like masked up and like walked outside and just like went to the convenience, got food. It's like, okay, goodbye.
But when you have fever, you don't want to eat anything junky, right? What did you eat?
No, I want to eat a lot of junk food. I ate
really?
a fuck ton of junk food. That's exactly what I did.
Even you have fever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, no, because it was a cold, because I took 2 COVID tests.
Yeah.
Still haven't gotten COVID, guys. So that guy's so weird. So random. But anyway, took 2 COVID tests. It wasn't COVID. So it was just a cold. So you're supposed to feed a cold, right? And so I just ate a lot of junk food. It was fine. It worked out great.
Okay.
Do I have the story about... No. Anyway, no, I do. Hold on. Let me try to find it. Here we go. Speaking of COVID, Japan remains largely masked up to first day of ease COVID rule. So if you guys didn't know this, a couple days ago, Japan was like, hey, know those mask things? Don't have to do that anymore. Finally.
Yay.
Are you masking up still?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Nowhere?
I mean, but I was the only one who wear no mask on the way we come here. I mean, I come here. Everybody's still wearing mask.
Yeah. I'd say where we are in downtown Kagoshima, I'd say about 25% of the people walking outside don't wear masks now. 25%. And then what's weird is being at the Eikaiwa school and seeing all, like, I'd say maybe about a quarter of the kids aren't wearing masks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's what your face looks like.
Yeah, finally.
I've never seen what they look like.
Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, like, whatever. Just do whatever you want. But no, the one thing that I'm having to deal with now in the first time in 3 years is allergies. Because I've been wearing a mask every time I've gone outside. So seasonal allergies were just not a thing. Now I'm like, I had to go to the doctor like a week ago. I'm like, hey, Mr. Doctor Guy, can you give me a refill for my Claritin prescription? He's like, sure. And I was like, when was the last time I got a Claritin prescription? He's like, 2018. I was like, holy crap.
You've been to that doctor for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I go to the
You
same-
have the same one.
I've gone to the same doctor since I was 24.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What, do you change your doctor every
Yeah,
time?
I do.
What's going on with that?
Because, this place is very crowded. Oh, maybe I change that place or things like that.
So my experience with doctors in especially Japan and especially in Kagoshima is that 90% of them are shit.
Oh my God.
They're really, really bad. No, guys at home, listen. Doctors in America may overcharge you. They may reject you, deny you care if you're not insured, and may all around have bad bedside manner. But for the most part, when you go to a general practitioner in Japan and in America, they know kind of what they're talking about. Japanese doctors are like 1 foot into shamanville and 1 foot into like science. They're like, here's some compo Chinese magical medicine for they're like, oh, do you have cold hands? You're like, yeah, here's some chili powder extract for that. I'm like, so in your brain, I have cold hands, so I need spices to spice up my hands. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, I've heard more. There's better logic in Dungeons and Dragons than there is in some of these Japanese doctors I've met. So my doctor was actually he learned medicine in America. So
America.
In America. And so when I go to him, I'm like, hey, don't give me any of that compo bullshit. He's like, I know. He's like, you don't believe in that, do you? I'm like, no, I don't.
Okay, if you're a doctor out there, please come help me.
No, Josh, come on, get out of this. Like, how do you feel about Japanese doctors?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, compo is a load of garbage.
Yeah, they're like, here's okay, first of all, all right, Natsuki, compo. Do you believe Chinese medicine? Do you believe in it?
It's weak. I know it's weak, but it helps when I was pregnant. Because I can't take strong medicine, right?
Why?
So because I'm pregnant. When I was pregnant, Campo helped me when I got sick.
Do you know what a placebo is?
No. What's that?
Okay, well.
What's that?
If I tell you about it, it'll ruin it.
What is it?
Nothing. Don't worry. Just keep believing your compo bullshit. It's all bullshit. Like, so guys, what they'll do is they'll be like, oh, you have a cold. Here's some every Japanese doctor I've ever been to for a cold. They're like, here's antibiotics. I'm like, is this a bacterial infection? They're like, I have no idea. I'm like, then wouldn't you not want to overprescribe antibiotics in case we keep making, antibiotic resistant bacteria. They're like, no, because if I don't give you some pills or something, you're not going to be happy. So I'm going to give you some random pills. Go home and take these. Also, here's some compo things that don't do anything, but they're like little powder packets that you have to open up and put in the back of your throat and just cough on this powdery substance that's supposed to do something. I don't know why you guys live so long, but it's not the fucking compo. That's just bullshit.
By the way, how do you say compo in English?
Chinese medicine.
Oh, is it? Is it Chinese medicine?
I don't know if it's actually Chinese. I don't know if Chinese people believe it's Chinese medicine, but that's how you translate that word. I don't know. Anyway, compo's bullshit. If you guys ever get sick in Japan, you go to a doctor and they try to give you some shit in numbered little packets, just throw that shit away.
It maybe helps your own things inside of you, just help. Do you understand what I mean? Western medicine is maybe too strong for your body. It cures quickly, but it also damages your body. That's the way that Chinese medicine probably think.
So the weird thing about Western medicine is that anything that works, becomes Western medicine.
Okay.
So for example, anesthesia, this was one of the things that we got local anesthesia is I think we were in the Amazon forest and some tribal people found this root or something. The details of this are fuzzy, but this is basically where this came from. And a Western scientist was like, oh, what's that? And they're like, oh, this makes the pain go away. And then we discovered anesthesia. Yeah. So now anesthesia is part of Western medicine. So if compo worked, if there was scientific evidence to support that it worked, it would become Western medicine.
Okay, let's get along together. Western medicine, compo medicine. That's what we do in Japan, right?
Yeah, you waste a lot of money on compo.
Let's get along together.
If you guys stop spending money on fake compo and stop supporting the compo companies, which are just profiting off of shaman magic, then maybe you would have more money for senior citizens to then waste on going to the doctor to, hang out with their friends.
Yeah, I hope compo doctor will not sue you.
No, they try. I mean, where's the scientific evidence on any compo? There is some very, very fuzzy data to support some very specific Chinese medicine in Japan. Aside from that, it's all make-believe. It's all hocus pocus.
Have you ever talked about it with doctors?
Yeah, and every time I've talked to them, I'm like, where's the evidence? They're like, oh, well, I just know that it works. I'm like, do you know that we have a saying in English? This is hard, okay? The plural of anecdote is not data. Okay. That means your personal experience, if you multiply that by 1,000 times, that's not data. That's not the same thing. In order to see if a medicine works or doesn't work, there's a very specific trial that you need to put it through. Double-blind studies and things like that. And if you can't do that with compo and come out the other side and say, oh, this works, then it doesn't work.
You're saying it's not science.
It's not science. If it's not science, it's not real to me.
Okay. I give it to you.
I mean, science can be wrong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, science is wrong all the time. But the great thing about science is that it's not a belief system. So if it is wrong, you go, oh, this is wrong. I can prove it. And everybody goes, oh, we were wrong. Let's change our thinking. But with compo, it's like, oh, you're wrong. It's like, no, because this has been like this for 1,000 years. It's like, okay, so because it's been around a long time, it must be right.
Sounds like a movie.
Josh, come on, back me up on this. Do you believe in compo?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Well, I mean, when I'm given compo and regular medicine, I only take the regular medicine and then I get better. And then the doctor's like, look, it worked. And then I'm like, I didn't take the compo though. And I'm actually very against compo because my wife was taking it and it almost killed her. It almost caused liver failure or something like that.
Oh, no.
Nice.
Yeah. So she was getting really sick every day. And then I told her to stop taking the medicine the compo medicine that her doctor prescribed.
Can we just call it magic from now on?
Oh my God.
Stop taking the magic.
That's a bad
so
story.
She stopped taking the magic and then she instantly got better.
Oh no.
And then she went to the doctor and they're like, oh yeah, it was damaging your organs.
Well, remember, Western medicine is so strong. It's, it damages you. Anyway, compo's bullshit. That's the bottom line here, guys. Compo's bullshit. Let's get back to the news. YouTuber turned lawmaker expelled from parliament for never showing up. So we talked about this a couple shows ago. I don't remember how many shows ago it was, but basically this guy by the name of Gashi.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a weird way of spelling that. He basically became, what was it? Wait, he's in a party that only has one thing. What was it? He is in a single. I forgot what his party does. Damn it.
NHK と right?
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, sorry. Right. So he's only got one thing on his platform, and he's against the NHK, the BBC of Japan, taking money from you.
And then they changed their name. They're like now like Girls 48 to.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
It's so なんかバカみたい. It sounds stupid.
It's a meme. They're like he was a meme candidate, and he got elected to parliament. But the thing is, because he's like this super popular YouTuber that like shits on people, he moved out of the country. I think he's living in Dubai. And anyway, so like he never showed up. He got elected last election, and then he never showed up. So they like. The expulsion of his actual name is Yoshikazu Higashitani, who goes by the name of Gashi, is the most serious reprimand of 4 levels under the national diet law. He lost his status as a lawmaker while abroad. There were only 2 previous cases of expulsion from parliament under the current constitution that took effect in 1947. Gashi became the first member of parliament to be expelled since 1951 and the first to be reprimanded for being absent. See, because the other parliamentarians, they go to work. They just sleep while they're at work. They go there and then just sleep in the background on their big sofa chairs.
Yeah.
The small opposition party recently changed its name from the NHK Party. It came to prominence through its criticism of the Japanese public broadcaster, and now they're called the Seiji Joshi 48 Party, which roughly translates to Politician Girls 48 Party.
Yeah, it's like AKB, right? Oh my God, I worry about my own country.
It's okay. Things will be fine. Just take some compo. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. In a step in the right direction, Japan grants long-term visa to gay U.S. man who wed Japanese guy. Oh. So basically, we talked about this some shows ago. A foreign American man who married a same-sex Japanese partner in the United States came to Japan and applied for a spousal visa, and Japan was like, "Fuck you! What's that gay marriage shit? We don't believe in that." And he sued, but now on a breakthrough move in a country that does not recognize same-sex marriage, he was given a long-term visa to stay.
Good. Big step. Good.
Big step in the right direction. I'm happy for him, and that's good. I hope he keeps fighting the good fight, because I really think that, if you look at the G7, I think Japan's the only country that doesn't acknowledge same-sex marriages, or at least unions at this point.
That's right.
So, hey guys, LGBTQ plus whatever, just be free. Let people be free. Let's talk about too much freedom. Okay, so this headline, I'm going to read it, and then you guys give me your reaction, okay? Here we go. 70% of Japan flight attendants report photos taken of them secretly. So this is tosatsu. Tosatsu, which means like to film somebody without their knowledge. Okay, what do you think when I said that headline? What did you think? 70% of just have I said no? One, I don't know how people do tosatsu, because in Japan, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is, you can't turn this off. You can't turn it off.
Yeah, there's an app actually. You can.
Have you done this?
No.
Jesus Christ, lady.
I know how to do it.
Okay, well, anyway, what did you take away from that, Josh, when I said 70% of Japan flight attendants report photos taken of them secretly?
That sounds like a fetish thing, and also probably like upskirts or something. I don't know.
I thought, wow, Japan has 30% male flight attendants, is what I thought.
Oh, I've never seen male flight attendant in the Japanese airline, actually. Are there any?
Apparently 30% of them.
I've never seen actually zero.
So there's actually, the headline tells the entire story. One thing that I do want to talk about with this story, though, is that in 2008, when we had the worldwide recession, and JAL went through bankruptcy and had to restructure, a lot of the flight attendants got put on leave or lost their jobs. And so they sold their uniforms on the black market. Because there's like this crazy fetish in Japan for official people in uniform, women in uniform.
Right. There's a kabakura, they wear flight attendant uniforms.
You seem really into this. Let's talk about your flight attendant fetish here, Natsuki.
No, I'm not into this, but I know
It's okay.
that.
I'll support you if you are. I completely support your right to be into flight attendants.
Yeah, I wish I could be a flight attendant. I wanted to be a flight attendant when I was young.
You're not tall enough. Sorry. There's a height
I'm
limit.
tall enough. I'm tall enough, actually. If I wear high heels, I can put the luggage on the shelf.
There is actually a height requirement for flight attendants, unless you're flying on the low cost carriers, in which case they just accept anybody who wants to work for those shitty wages.
Well, anyway, but I've never seen male flight attendant in Japan.
So, what would you say out of all the airlines that you've been on, who has the most attractive flight attendants?
And I can't remember. But my point is, American airlines are old, I guess. Don't you think?
No, there's no such thing as attractive people on it. Dude, there's this famous picture on the internet of, I think it's Pan Am from like the late 1960s. And it's got their uniform, and that's back when they used to call them stewardess, which we don't call them anymore. And it's like, I think it's this like blonde bombshell girl in like these go-go boots, and she's just kind of like waiting on a customer or something like that down the aisle of a plane or something like that. And it's just, you just look at that and you just like that's where I think all this started. Is like, I think that was kind of the intent of the airlines to begin with, was to get these like, really attractive women on the airplane. Pan Am.
Cabin attendant in Japan is kind of like an ideal job, for girls.
Yeah.
And then
I've taught a couple of them.
Is the same in other countries?
Well, yeah, because like when I was flying in Korea, because I always go through Korea to get to the United States, it's just, there's so much competition to get into that job.
Yeah.
It's competition not only with brains, but also looks and like the way that you handle yourself and language ability and stuff like that. I found it. Here we go. This one, I'll send it to you online. You look at this photo and then you just think to yourself, you're like, dude, that was just a different, she wasn't blonde. I just made that up. Sorry, guys. You look at this and it's just like, it's a different time.
Let me see. Wow. Looks like Hooters. I can't say that.
It's because it's not a foo. It's a hooter. Hooters.
I always can't say that. Hooters.
Everybody, Natsuki's an English coach. Just want to throw that out there. She can't say Hooters and she's an English coach.
No.
I don't know what that says about her coaching ability.
It's okay. No one needs to say Hooters.
All right. So anyway, if you can put that in the show, Josh. I don't know what airline it is, but this photo makes the rounds around Reddit every now and then, and it's just like, it's just crazy.
How long years ago? Like long time ago?
This is, I think, the 1960s or something
Wow.
like that. It's a Condé Nast photo. Anyway, yeah, it's just, you look at it, but then it asks the question, like, should we sexualize jobs? Having dated someone who worked I'm not going to say what she did, but having dated someone who was in a job that I later found out that Japanese men really love to sexualize, it was kind of weird. I was like, why do y'all got a fetish for this position? It's kind of weird. I don't know.
How many? What percent that you said? 75%.
70%.
70%.
Don't make it bigger than it already is. It's already ridiculous. Here's a question. Okay, so you take a picture of the cabin attendant. What do you do with it? It's just weird.
For your own joy, maybe.
It's just, I don't understand. While we're talking about this, let's go to this one. Here we go. Gender inequality driving wave of female Japanese immigrants to Canada. So I'm gonna talk about a story, and then I'm gonna ask you a very specific question, Natsuki. Okay. Ooh. So here we go. So this is a story. It's a piece about a certain person. So let's just say a Japanese woman has loved traveling since childhood and began her dream career with an airline as ground staff member in Tokyo at age 19. Mm-hmm. But after 4 years of working long hours, she realized that she was unlikely to become a mother while keeping her job, let alone get promoted. I don't see a lot of moms there, especially among the managers. Managers were mostly male, and the ground staff who worked at the airport were mostly women. Most people quit their jobs once they got pregnant. Okay. And so she moved to Vancouver in 2006 and she's been working there since. And she says, I feel more free in Canada. So there's a mass migration of Japanese women outside to leave the country and to live in more liberal countries. And one of the things it says in this article is the suffocating culture. One example is a person who's she's in her 40s that whenever she travels back to Japan, she has to hide her tattoos she got in Victoria due to the commonplace association of tattoos with gangsters in her home country. She says that's not an issue in Canada. My bosses don't care that I have a tattoo. So what do you think about, first of all, what do you think about working in Japan as a mother?
It's tough,
because you have 2 kids, right?
Yeah, I do. The company that I work in for is, much better than other companies, actually.
Very, very rare situation.
Yeah,
your company not only gives you full leave, it also lets you work for other companies, which is strange.
Yeah, but anyway, working, in Japan, working as a mother is very tough because people expect to raise kids only by mother. Like my husband, he comes home like every day after 10 p.m. because he has a lot of work to do. That means like I have to raise my kids by myself all the time. And then I'm going to work. I'm going to do some house chores. Always me. That's tough, right?
Yeah.
But, many men don't realize it yet. Still. Sadly.
So is this a problem with, because what it says in the article is it's 2 things. One, it's like, obviously if you have kids, right, someone's got to take care of them. And in Japan, do you feel that there's a lot of mother support from, government programs like daycare and things like that?
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, there is. And then, but it's always ちょっとずれてる. It's, how do you say that? It's always like
a little off.
That's not what we need, Thank you for your support, but that's not what we need.
Okay, so what do you get? So talk to us about daycare. What do you get as a mom?
We can let my kids, they can take care of my kids.
So daycare will take care of your kids during the day.
Yeah, during
What's
the day.
What's the time?
7:30 to 6 or 7, if you want to. But it depends on what if you're full-time, you can ask them to do like long time. But if you're a part-time job, maybe like shorter time.
Okay.
Or you need to pay extra money if you want them to, take care of your kids longer. And then that's it. And we can do that, but there are like only not too many daycare. Like kindergarten, they take care of kids only for like short time. And then kindergarten, the daycare, we can put our kids there. But, some people cannot get that right. Do you understand what I mean?
So you mean there's not enough space?
No space, that's it. Yeah. Okay. And so like, 落ちましたっていうメールが来るの. You failed.
You didn't get in.
Yeah, you didn't get in. And
this is for daycare or for kindergarten?
Daycare.
Okay.
So it's like, always like, just like I said, like it's off because Kishida saying that women supposed to work like more longer.
Yeah.
But we want to work, but we can't, where else we need to put our kids because they can't, they said we are not getting there.
Yeah.
So なんかちょっとね.
So there isn't enough daycare. I've said this before. There isn't enough daycare. And I think there isn't enough government support. Here's another thing I want to talk about. So that's the position from a working mother. Position from an employer. So I have 2 women right now who are on maternity leave. And I'll be honest with you, this experience has taught me, and this is the wrong lesson to learn from this. This is absolutely the wrong lesson to learn from this. But it has taught me never ever hire young women who will probably have kids in the near future ever again.
What happened?
No. That's just because here's what you have to do in Japan if you have a woman who goes out on maternity leave. So let's say, are you currently on maternity leave right now?
No. Yeah, I am still.
Right. So you took a year off. This is your second time having a baby, so you took a year off.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens in Japan is the government provides, depending on how your employment works, but if you're in the like career path, Cadillac level pension and insurance system, then what happens is when you take maternity leave, the government will cover 80% of your salary that you had the year before.
For the first 6 months, yes.
For the first 6 months, okay? And then after the first 6 months?
50.
50 or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Okay. That's fine. Then there's also some subsidies that the company can get to hire a part-time person to fill in the role of that full-time staff that is now out. Trouble is that depending on what job you do, for example, with me, one of the people out is a teacher. Okay. And a teacher is a full-time job. It's not, you can't really replace a teacher with a part-timer or two part-timers. It's a full-time job. And so I'm stuck with this really weird situation where I need to hire someone to cover this. And it's not the person who had a baby and is out on maternity leave. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. I'm not blaming the mom on this. I mean, we need to have kids, right? We need to continue as a species. So I understand that. Okay. No, I'm serious. Okay. So this is not the mom's fault. And it's not women's fault. I'm just explaining how the system works and then how my reaction as an employer works on this kind of broken system. So this teacher is out for a whole year. So now I need to replace this teacher. Can't really replace her with part-timers. Can't replace her with a full-timer, because if I replace her with a full-timer and then she comes back after 1 year, I have 2 full-time employees for one position.
Right.
What am I going to do with this other full-time employee? Do I fire them? I can't. So what am I supposed to do?
Contract, in like short contract?
That only works if you're a McDonald's employee, that's fine. Okay, you just go get another Japanese person. In my specific situation, the English teaching jobs that we have at the English school require visa. So you can't have a contract. It has to be a full-time job. And if I just say, hey guys, I want to hire somebody between the day that this person had a baby and the day that she's going to come back a year later, no one's going to take that contract.
No, that's true.
So what exactly am I supposed to do in this situation?
Find a native speaker who has permanent living in Japan.
So find a unicorn.
Yeah.
So find a unicorn. Okay. I mean, it's a ridiculous situation. And then on the other side, so that's on the foreign visa situation. On the other side, there's another staffer out who's just straight Japanese and is technically replaceable. But again, same situation. If I put in a full-time staff to replace it, because it is kind of a technical job, because you have to understand how to do, accounting, you have to understand how to do customer service. It takes maybe a year to learn how to do the job. So I can't replace her with part-timers. So if I hire a full-time person to learn her new job and she comes back after 1 year, again, I'm stuck with 2 employees for one position.
Yeah, that's why we have a system like hakken, maybe. Hakken, I don't know how to say that in English. Hakken is like still like short time, ask a company to send them.
But that still requires, what she's talking about is dispatch companies.
Yeah.
But that's still, these are 2 not highly, but specialized jobs.
Right.
So it's not McDonald's. It's not just
in your case, it's hard.
Yeah, but there's many cases of like this where you have a specialized job. The person leaves for a year. You're without the person fulfilling that role, so that the work needs to get done.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening, and this is not just in my cases, what happens in a lot of other cases, is that the men, this is sexism against men as well, the men who stay at work take on the jobs from the women who take a year off to have a baby.
That's true. They cover, right?
They cover. But their salary doesn't get reflected by that. Because there's no way to do that in accounting. There's no way to say, oh, you're taking... Well, I mean, I guess you can give them a bigger bonus or something like that, but there's no way that the system covers any of this.
Right.
So it's basically screw you company and screw you male employees that don't take maternity leave. So
what are we supposed to do? Take no maternity leave?
So what ends up happening is that the male staff and then the management, so this is the thing that I've learned from this experience, won't want to either hire women who will take maternity leave because it becomes this major risk to the company, or they pressure the women to quit so that you can just hire a new staff and not have to fucking worry about that anymore.
Right.
This makes total sense. It's completely logical from this perspective. It's completely logical from the woman's perspective who wants to take her year off to raise her baby. The problem is the support structure, like you were just talking about with the daycare thing. The support structure doesn't really make any sense for the situation.
My baby was born in February, so I'm supposed to back to the company February, but I couldn't get in the daycare. So now it's my extension time.
Yeah. But you don't get paid for it.
No. 50%. Yes, but still.
So it's like, it's that. And then this, anyway, this is the problem. So I mean, you
Yeah.
either commit to your 1 year of maternity leave, which I think 1 year of maternity leave is nice to have.
Yeah, it is.
But I don't necessarily think it's necessary. I'm sorry, I'm more American on this. I don't think that that's necessary to have a. I think that Japanese culture really says mommy should be with the baby forever, and I'm not necessarily a proponent of that. I think that that's kind of dumb, especially when you see, I mean, Josh has seen this himself, when you see like moms with their little prince son that they've never been separated for in like 4 years of his entire life. I don't think that's healthy.
And then now the government pushing the men to have maternity leave, like paternity leave too, right?
No, that's all fine. It's just for me, like, I think that if okay, let's say you do one of two things. Either say you can have maternity leave for up to 3 months, 6 months, right? So that's more manageable for a company to say, okay, we're going to have this loss of an employee for 3 months.
Okay.
Let's try to do our best to cover it. That's more workable than 1 year. And then what ends up happening a lot of times in bigger companies is the woman will take a 1 year maternity leave. And at the end of her 1 year, what does she do?
Get pregnant again.
She either gets pregnant again, so she doesn't come back to work anyways, or she quits.
Or she got 3 years, maternity leave.
So you don't even know if you get your employee back at the end of the 1 year.
No. And then we call ghost employee.
Ghost employee. So then as an employer, what we want as an employer is there's certain things that need to get done. Okay. So you hire people to help you get these things done. We don't want to deal with this situation where this person's either here, they're not here, we don't know. Are they coming back? Are they not coming back? There's not a real good system in place to make this happen. And there's no support.
Right.
So as an employer, you're like, fuck that business. I'm just going to hire all men. You know what I mean?
Yeah, understandable.
Or what I say jokingly, but it seriously has come to mind several times. Don't come after me about this guy. I'm just talking about the general employer's position on this situation in Japan. Like, I thought about this, like, okay, I'm either going to only hire men or I'm going to hire women above the birthing age. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
No, I pushed
after finished raising kids or something.
Right. I pushed hard to put more women into my company because I like diversity. I like different races and I like different genders and different backgrounds, and I wanted that to be in the company. Okay, I didn't realize that by doing that, like, I was going to have this issue of like, where did my employees go? They're like all having babies. And that's fine. I understand having babies is fine, but if you're going to say give them a year off, don't hire a new employee, or if you do hire a part-timer, also, we're not going to give you any real support about any of this. It's like, okay, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
Yeah, you're having hard times. That's what I hear.
It's not a hard time. It's just like the system doesn't make any sense. So anyway, whenever you hear these stories about these women going to Canada and stuff like that, I understand it because the incentives exist to push you to never hire women or always treat women as just like people who are eventually going to quit.
Oh, I'm curious about other countries, what they do.
So my professional friends who work in America, for example, a couple of them have babies, and what they do is they have their baby, and within, you can take a maternity leave for depending on how much the company allows you or your insurance provides for you or whatever, or your benefits package. But like most of the moms who are professional, they go back to work within 6 months.
6 months.
Okay.
Like half. Okay.
And then when they go back, it's just they work full time. Now, obviously, if you have a mommy, right, there's certain things that you have to make, certain provisions that you have to make for them. Like, for example, if the child develops a fever, right? Some daycares won't take care of a child that has a fever. So mommy's got to go get the baby and take him home, or maybe daddy has to do that or something like that. And I understand all of that. That's just life, right? I understand that. What I'm specifically complaining about right now is that the system in Japan seems to be set up to show on paper that they're doing their best to support women, but really all it does is make you go, never will I ever hire a young woman ever again. I mean, that's really what it makes you think. And so I think it's fucked up. And I think they either make it like the Nordic countries or other European countries where it's completely like just supported by the government.
Yeah.
Or they stop pretending that they have.
Yeah, problem is who made this kind of rule is only old men. They don't know the reality of raising kids because they have never done.
Yeah.
So always Kishida is saying like the things that Kishida is saying is like always bullshit to us.
She is an idiot. I'm sorry. Is it against a lot of slander of politicians? I don't know. Whatever. He's every time I see him, I'm just like, what's wrong with you? Like,
Yeah, he doesn't know the reality. So that's what I said. ずれてる?
It's a little off.
Yeah.
I think that if they wanted to make like policy for women in Japan, I would mostly agree with a pretty dominantly female panel of people to do that.
It sounds like he always wants some vote. That's why he is saying some nice things, but it never really make it.
So anyway, I'm just, I'm not saying that I'm never going to hire young women. I'm just saying that the incentives to hire a young man is way higher because I know at least, that this employee, if he's gone, he's gone. If he's here, he's here. I don't have to worry about this maternity like maybe land, that causes problems. Like imagine if all of my staff were women and they were all just got married and they all want to have babies at the same time. What happens then?
It's actually happening in my company right now.
Really?
Yeah.
What happens?
And then somebody have to cover like especially like young men.
And how do they feel about that?
I don't know. I'm afraid to ask them. Sorry, I'm gonna bring some cookies for you.
So, yeah, I'll just fuck up your life and make you work like a slave. Here's some cookies.
Or beer.
So like,
sorry,
it's just
it's tough.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's really dumb. Anyway, let's move on. Sushi terrorist and 2 accomplices arrested in Japan after viral prank. So the viral video from early February showed one of them, a 20-year-old, I'm not going to read his name, dubbed Sushi terrorist by the Japanese public and media, putting his saliva and on utensils and sushi and licking the spout of soy sauce bottles at the sushi restaurant in Nagoya City. And he was arrested. Good.
Stupid.
Well, I mean, he's a kid. I make an example out of him in so much that they make him apologize and stuff like that. But I don't want him to ruin his rest of the. I don't want the rest of his life to be ruined because of this.
Right.
He's just a dumb kid.
Yeah, dumb kid.
But it is disgusting. I think Josh physically cringed when he saw that. He's nodding up and down. All right, let's go through this. Okay, Hiroshima, which me and Josh just went to Hiroshima. Hiroshima was great. I actually liked Hiroshima. It was fun. What did we talk about in the last episode? I can't remember.
When
we got back with
when Alex was on the show, you guys talked about it.
With the world leaders set together in Hiroshima for May's Group of 7 summit, a food academy is aiming to make local favorite Okonomiyaki pancakes. Is that what we're calling these now? A global hit with a new twist that pay homage to member countries' cuisine. So I think we have a photo of this. A U.S.-style burger, Okonomiyaki, and one featuring a German sausage and sauerkraut selection are among the variations organizers will provide enough to convince the deluge of summit-related visitors to take the recipes home. So if you guys don't know, Okonomiyaki is a cabbage and batter-based savory pancake that you can put toppings on, and there's 2 styles. There's one for Hiroshima and there's one for Osaka. Natsuki, which is your vote?
Osaka.
Yeah. Josh.
Osaka.
Yeah, fuck you, Hiroshima.
I still like it, but
they put
I
soba
like Osaka
noodles
better.
in their fucking Okonomiyaki. It's horribly bad.
No, it's not horrible.
Yeah,
it's good. I just like Osaka better. That's what I'm saying.
I never had the Hiroshima Okonomiyaki actually in Hiroshima. I've had it in Kagoshima.
Okay.
So I just assumed that the people in Kagoshima didn't know how to make it. That's why it was bad.
Okay.
So then when I went to Hiroshima, we went to the best place to get it to. It was this woman. She was 100 years old.
100 years old.
If you asked her how many Okonomiyaki pancakes she's made in her life, it was probably 70 million.
Wow.
And she was great. She was really nice. I would totally go back there just to patronize her restaurant because she's such a great person. But she did all the things to make it look delicious. And then when you ate it, it's just okay. Well, that was didn't really live up to the hype. It's just not that great. Oh. Sorry, guys. Osaka Okonomiyaki, by the way, is really good.
Oh, yeah, it's good. But isn't it same? Just, noodles are in there.
Also, I think that the dashi,
really?
Okay, maybe it's a Kagoshima thing, but we put katsuobushi on the top.
Sunny side eggs within.
She mixed the egg or something like that. Yeah, there was an egg in there. But I don't know, Josh, you're the food guy. How did you feel there was a difference? What difference did you feel?
I think there's it's those 2 things. The noodles, the sunny side egg on top on the Hiroshima style, but the batter is a little different too. I think there's egg mixed into the batter in the Osaka, the Kansai one, but I don't know, the ratio of the pancake to the toppings is a lot better in the Osaka one, in my opinion. Yeah.
Like no shrimp or no like pork.
Yeah, like it had some meat in it, but it wasn't as good, I guess.
Okay.
Like it's the same thing to me as those like bread rolls that have the yakisoba noodles inside. It's like, why are you eating carbs inside of carbs? That's how I felt eating the Hiroshima pancakes.
That's true.
It was drier than I'm used to, and it just like, I don't know, just all around. I mean, it wasn't bad. Sorry, I don't want to shit on the poor lady.
No, I enjoyed it. I just like the Kansai one more.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Yeah, I didn't have it, but
It's like when you have like a really good pizza and then you eat kind of shitty pizza. It's better than not having pizza, but it's not as good as having good pizza. Is how I felt about it.
okay.
Anyway, let's like slam through the rest of our stories since we've gone almost to an hour. Ghibli Park visitors caught in lewd acts with anime character figures because of course they are. It's been over 4 months now since the highly anticipated, which should be hyphenated, Ghibli Park opened its doors to the public on the 1st of November. And though the park has been receiving rave reviews for its environmentally friendly transport and the, who cares, and the anime worlds that have been created in nature-filled areas, it has come under fire for what some have described as examples of hostile architecture. And there's another incident creating controversy with the public. And here it is. It's basically
Disgusting.
so that guy right there is, I think he's taking an upskirt of Marnie.
I've never seen Marnie movie.
I've seen that movie once, and I'm not going to ruin it for you guys, but isn't she in the scene? Isn't she like a 12-year-old, Josh? She's a 12-year-old?
Yeah, she's 12 years old.
So you're upskirting a 12-year-old, sir.
Is he in the sea? Ocean?
Yeah, it's probably the ocean. So you're getting your camera wet, and you're upskirting a 12-year-old, just all around, just doing the wrong things.
Aren't they college students or something?
Probably.
Yeah, it's always happened like that.
Yeah, but I can't imagine somebody doing this to Mickey Mouse and Disneyland. I'm sure it's happened, but I don't see it on Twitter.
That's why Ghibli company is, being quiet, right? They
They're
ignore
being quiet.
just ignore.
They're not addressing this? Is that what you're saying? They're not calling more attention to the shittiness of these people?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's just
don't get pay attention those stupid guys.
Yeah. Well, social media, the things that people do. Well, I'll say this, for Japan, it's still the antics that people do to get attention on social media is still kind of in the cute realm. There's some people in other countries that do vile stuff. Japanese security pole arm maker takedown videos are crazy. Products look crazy effective. So we talked about this on a short that Josh is currently making because we're making shorts now. No, actually, I was sick for a week and he made a bunch of shorts and they turned out to be popular. And 2 things about this. 1, what was this comment, sir?
Which one? The one that you look like a mix between Zach Braff and Edward Norton? Move your head over the other way. Yeah.
Is it a good thing? Are they like cute guys? I don't know.
I don't know, man. So here's the thing, okay? Like Zach Braff, I've been getting that since I used to be a high school teacher in America for a little bit. And I walked into class the first day and I was wearing a t-shirt, some jeans, and a backpack.
You look like a high school student.
And everybody thought I was a high school student. And then I just like stood up in front of everybody. I had a fucking badge too. I had a badge, like an official badge. And I was like, hey, everybody, I'm your teacher today. And everyone was like, oh my God, you look like Zach Braff. It's the very first thing that everybody told me.
Oh.
Because there's this TV show called, the only thing that Zach Braff has ever been in is called Scrubs, where he was a character called JD.
Yes, I love that show.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's the only thing he's ever done.
He was also in BoJack Horseman as himself.
Yeah, I believe it. I think he just hangs out and does nothing all the time. Now, Edward Norton, that's a different one. Okay. Am I the Hulk version of him? Am I the Fight Club version of him? Am I the American History X version of him? I don't want to be that one.
Are you happy with that?
Not
those
that
two people?
one. That one's a Nazi, man. No, Nazis. No Nazis. Boo. But I would say to that comment that you missed a character that you really should have looked into. Mulder from the X-Files. David Duchovny.
Ah, 懐かしい.
If I had brown hair, I look exactly like that guy.
Old days. When I was in elementary school, I always 8 o'clock Thursday, X-File.
We just learned something about you, lady. I think you had a crush on David Duchovny. He's apparently a sex addict or something like that.
Well, I can remember his face.
Well, just look here. I'm kidding. Just kidding. Are you going to pull it up? Come on, pull it up. David Duchovny, X-Files. I don't look like him now because he's like 60, but I did when it was Mulder. I went as Mulder as a Halloween costume once. I just wore a suit and put FBI right here. They're like, oh my God. Yeah.
Ah, I can see that. Yeah.
Especially when I had brown hair. Man. What are we talking about? Right. Okay. So one of the shorts was about this thing called a sasumata. And they're basically like when an intruder comes into your building or something like that, they're basically like a U fork with a pole on it.
U fork. That's true. U fork. Yeah.
And I think we have some footage of this from, there we go.
Oh my God.
Now that one I want. That one looks fucking cool. This just kind of looks like their bedroom play is, oh my God, they're just like,
so old
who
style.
has this much room in their Japanese business? Literally no one.
Oh my God. It reminds me of World War II women are, practicing to fight with enemy. Oh my God.
You're thinking
so
about the
sad.
Okinawa bamboo girls. You just made this really sad.
Yeah.
This was so much funnier until you said that. What's wrong with you? That's just, guys, don't Google what she just said. It's just, God damn it.
Sad.
What's that? Anyway, so that guy that was getting taken down, that's the owner of this company. And he made some very, like, it's not just in Satsumata, it's just the U-shaped thing with the pole. But he's like, they made these like those wrap around things, the belts and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Kind of want to buy those. I wonder how much they cost.
Yes, I want to
Dude,
try that one too.
there was this in Kawasaki. There was a stabbing of like kids waiting to get on the bus with some crazy guy, and then I realized that my school is a soft target for like crazy people, and so we invited the police to come into our school and like to train us on what to do if a crazy person comes. And then like they gave us all this great advice, and so we bought a bunch of those sasamatas. They're all over the school now.
It's there.
Yeah. And like we have to do a drill. Probably next when we get back from our break, we'll do a drill. And Ricky is volunteered to be the bad guy. He's like, I'm only gonna do it if I can be the bad guy.
Oh, so
I'm like, okay, man.
he should wear like black mask,
I don't know if we can contain Ricky. He's pretty strong.
Plus, he should probably train to use it, so I'll be the bad guy since I'm not there.
Why does everybody want to be the
I wanna
bad
be the
guy?
bad guy.
Why does everybody want to be the bad guy? You can't be full power bad guy though, because they like break shit.
Why don't you just buy a stun gun?
It's actually illegal.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, it's actually illegal. If some idiot comes into the school with a knife and you stun him, you're also going to go to jail.
知らなかった. I didn't know that.
You can pepper spray him, which is okay for whatever reason. You can throw powder in their face, which is another thing, which is okay for whatever reason. Okay. You can't stun gun them, even though they sell stun guns on the internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is something the cops told us.
Oh, okay. I probably watch, cop drama too much. They always have that,
That's if you're a cop. That's if you're a cop, Natsuki. Cops in Japan also have guns.
Right.
We're not allowed to have those either.
No. Okay.
Okay, let's talk about...
I learned a new thing. Thank you.
Jesus, lady. You live here. You have 2 children.
Okay.
Cherry blossoms begin blooming in Tokyo. Earliest start to sakura season for 3rd year. Woohoo! It is now March 4th. This is an article from March 14th. Today is the 16th. By the way, did anybody do anything for White Day? I completely forgot because I was sick.
Yeah, I made a nice dinner for my wife and bought her some.
For my wife.
Nice.
For my wife.
Nice.
For my wife.
What you got from your wife on the Valentine's Day? Chocolates?
Yeah.
He's like, shit, I can't discuss on this show. What did you do for your husband? What did your husband do for you?
Nothing. Because I did nothing for him. I actually made hamburger. How do you say hamburger? Like
hamburger steak.
Hamburger steak. Because he doesn't like any sweets.
He's like me. Don't make me hamburger steak.
Hamburger.
Do
you want me to make you?
I don't have confidence in your cooking, Natsuki.
My wife made me hamburger steak too for Valentine's Day.
Oh,
Is that a Valentine's Day
Did
thing?
you guys all read the same article on the internet?
No.
Probably.
No. It's like, daughter and me having fun cooking time,
Do you have a daughter you don't know about, Josh?
I hope not.
I hope not. Anyway, Hanami season has arrived much earlier than expected. Basically, the only thing that I really want to talk about is there's an updated map of they release a map of Japan every year with like the sakura, the cherry blossoms, like when they're going to bloom. And I saw the ones in January this year. I think Josh was on the show with me. I was like, no, it's like that's not happening. It's just like they've been like weeks earlier than the projections, and then they release an updated one, and it is weeks earlier. So.
Is it already blooming? I haven't seen the trees.
I don't even want to go to Kotsuki River because we have our Hanami on the 25th, which is like 9 days from now.
Yeah.
And so if it's already blooming now, it just means it's going to be every fucking year we schedule. Well, not every year because we haven't done it in 3 years, but before that, every year before those 3 years, we never get it right. We got it right one time in 2012.
Long time ago.
Yeah, that was 11 years ago.
Yeah, 11 years ago.
Aside from that, I don't think we've gotten it right. It was Mankai, which means full bloom, 12 years ago when we did the event. And aside from that, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be the event.
Yeah,
I'll be at the event.
Please.
Yeah.
Speaking of things to do, wait, let me do this one first and then we'll do that one. Okay, so speaking of events, the Diamond Princess, which if you guys remember about the ship, this was in the beginning, around this time in 2020, the Diamond Princess is this cruise liner that was in Yokohama Bay. And it got stuck there because the lockdown started happening because of COVID. And there was a COVID outbreak on that ship. And Japan wouldn't let it dock. So it just sat there. It's floating.
How many people dead?
I
Yeah,
don't
seriously. Like 10 or 11 people dead, I guess. Because of COVID. I guess. It was a sad news.
13 of the 700 died.
Right?
Infected crew and passengers died. So 13 people died.
Yeah. It was a sad news.
So yeah, so it just sat there, and so like they're like, "Ooh, you guys got cooties, don't come here." And so like this is back when Abe was prime minister, and so he got criticized over this because what should have happened is they should have made a quarantine zone in the port. And then made it so it was a treatment facility and locked it down. So
That's
just like
true.
waited until, everybody got better and then quarantined for as long as they possibly could. They didn't do that. So they just like left it floating there. I forgot how many days it was. It was just floating there for fucking ever. And then everybody was like, and every day you just like see the helicopter footage of the poor Diamond Princess is floating there. Anyway. And so that was 3 years ago. Today, the Diamond Princess returns to Yokohama 3 years after the mass COVID outbreak, and it is just hanging out and being Diamond Princess.
Cool.
And the comment is by a local resident who was taking pictures of the Diamond Princess said, "It's a large and beautiful ship beyond my expectations. While I hope that its arrival will not lead to the spreading of the coronavirus, I am glad that the liveliness has returned to the port."
Where is the Diamond Princess come from? Where?
I think I don't know where the flag is probably in Norway or wherever they have the silly rules that everybody gets their flags from. But it came from the United States this time. So it goes all around the world. Anyway, well, that's good. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm pro cruise liners. I do take cruises because I think they're super fun, but I also recognize that they're terrible, terrible, terrible for the world. So if they went away, I actually wouldn't be that sad.
I'd like to join the Disney cruise one day.
Their
nice.
What do you call it? Blowhorn is like a Disney song.
Oh, really?
Last story: Coca-Cola Japan releasing canned Jack Daniel's cocktails.
You need one right now?
No, no, guys. This is the buildup from being sick for 5 days. It's not cleaned out yet. All right. A Jack and Coke with no mixing required. So basically all this is, and there's, Josh, I don't think he took a picture of it, but maybe if you put it in the edit or something, it's basically like, as you could imagine, like a Coke Zero Coke can. It's all black and it just says Jack Daniels and Coke on it.
It's already mixed.
Yeah, it's already mixed. So when I was in university, this is all I drank. The only thing I ever drank, I didn't drink beer. I didn't drink anything. I just drank Jack and Coke every day. By the way, I'm 1 week sober today. I'm not trying to be. I just happen to be
I was going to ask you about, I thought you were, drinking even when you have fever.
No, I don't want to do that. So I was thinking about this. I was like, when was the last time I had an entire week where I didn't drink? I think it was in the 90s.
Okay.
I think it's been since the 90s that I haven't had 1 week sober.
Oh, you're healthy now.
Am I? I don't know. It's boring. It's more fun when you drink. I'll tell you that. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's been a week, and I was like, I wanted to like report like really positive effects. I guess I sleep better. I guess I don't really know. But
That's it.
maybe I have to wait longer.
You want to keep doing it?
No, I'm gonna drink tonight. What are you talking about, lady? No, it was unintentional. It's not like I'm trying to. If I had like a super major problem with alcohol, I would totally be like, all right, let's quit. I actually read a book. There's a book. It's called like How to Quit Alcoholism. It's in my Audible. And I read it, and I came away from that book thinking like, wow, those people have problems. But this is what the alcoholics tell themselves. But I don't know. If I actually had a serious issue with drinking, then I wouldn't be able to like casually quit throughout the week because I don't drink every single day. I usually take about 3 or 4 days off a week, and so this time I took 1 week off, and so I'm just like, I'm gonna feel so much better. And then Carl, my big Viking friend, he's like, so do you feel better? I was like, because I was sick for those days. That maybe that's why. I don't know. But I was just like, I don't know. It's just boring. In Japan, there's not really anything to do. You have to socialize. I guess I don't need to drink to socialize. I guess that's true. I guess I just need to socialize.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. I just need friends. Being in my house every day was really boring.
Yeah, that's what we need drink for. Yeah, just socialize, make friends, talking each other.
Oh my God, there was this guy in TikTok. I just want to say this really quick and then we'll end the show. There's this guy in TikTok. He's some like wannabe Japanese influencer. He's a Japanese guy that learned English and thinks he knows everything. And and he's like, he's like, all right, pro tip on Japan number whatever. He's like, foreign people, when you go out to a drinks party with your Japanese friends and everything's super fun, but then they don't want to hang out with you, it's because that's not their real selves. Japanese people have to drink and put on a performance to have fun at nomikai, but that's not their true selves, and they don't really want to be your friend. So just know that. And I was like, what the fuck? I almost recorded it. I don't want to give this guy any more popularity because I was just like, fuck you, you're stupid. Listen, Japanese guy who apparently doesn't have any real Japanese friends. Yes, when you go to
you have only fake friends then.
I guess so. When you go to a nomikai, let me give you my 2 cents on this. When you go to a nomikai, yes, there are people who are like probably introverted and would prefer to not be there.
Yeah,
absolutely. There are those people. Don't get me wrong. And maybe those people want to put on a fun face, and maybe one of the ways that they do that is, imbibe, and so they feel better. So I don't know.
Even me, see, I'm not real myself right here.
Shut up, Natsuki. Anyway, so yes, those people do exist, and yes, it does take a level of language ability to understand the difference between like oseiji, where they're like just blowing smoke up your ass, like, oh, I love you, you're such a cool, fun guy, let's hang out all the time. Understanding that that's bullshit versus the people who are actually really interested in you as a person and want to be your friend. It takes a little bit of social maneuvering, but once you understand the difference between the two, there are a lot of people that go out, have fun, drink, and then they have non-drinking association with each other, which is most of my friends.
Yeah.
I mean, we are currently not drinking right now, and I'm totally making fun of Natsuki, and she's still mostly my friend.
That's true. Right. And then it happens to not only, foreign people. Like, I have friends, and then they're probably not themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. It's because they have problem.
Yeah, it's like, what I mean, there are people like that. But don't say all Japanese people are like that. I have tons of Japanese friends who I drink with, who I have no problem not drinking with as well. All the fucking time.
True.
Anyway, I watched that. I was just like, that's offensive. I was just like, holy shit, you just dogged your whole country, dog.
Yeah. I'm curious. Let me see that later.
It just showed up in my random feed, and I was just like, fuck this guy.
Okay, random feed.
Anyway, we should do like a little show on like the difference between like honne and tatemae, like in social situations, just like to explain like how to navigate that. You won't be here for that. You'll be completely useless.
Why not?
Because you have no tatemae. You're just 100% honne.
I do. You look such a beautiful face, Mitch. Hello?
Ask me how my sick is again. How's your sick?
How's your sick?
I think that's been our show today, guys. Sorry for being away for a week, but you know, it was a good long one for you this time. So
Why your hair is so blue today?
my hair's not blue. What
No,
do you?
no. Like, you know,
Because I didn't shave for a week.
Yeah, and then you look like your hair is
No,
blue.
you're just noticing it because I didn't shave for a week, and I showed you a picture of me not having shaved for a week, and now you realize that I get beard. What is it we call it in English? Shige to facial hair. So now you're just realizing that for the first time.
I know, I just, making fun
You
of
have
you.
fucking no tate mai, Natsuki. Bye, everybody. Love you.